So we're quickly approaching the holiday 2016 season, and you're curious about how to either A, spend some money you've got coming, or 2, pick the graphics card for somebody on your shopping list. So what we're going to do today is we're going to hit several different price points, go from the bottom to the top of the stack, and give you what I feel are my recommendations for where you should put your money in these particular price categories, as well as which specific card that I would recommend. Now, all of these will be found in the description below if you'd like to see a link directly to those cards and go see them for yourself. Now, of course, admittedly, prices are subject to change, so these prices are accurate at the time of the recording, so hopefully they'll be a little cheaper, which means you may be able to step up into another class for less money. Now, let's get things started off with the up to $100 category. This is for the entry-level gamer, or you're getting it for somebody who's just now starting to game and you don't really want to spend a lot of money. So up to $100, my recommendation is none other than the XFX RX 460. Now, you may have to look for this one, but it's often retailing for $99 or maybe a little bit less with an mail-in rebate. So keep an eye out for that. Moving on up to the $100 to $150 region, starts getting kind of competitive here, but honestly, my personal preference would be the 4GB EVGA GTX 1050 Ti. It's going to be faster again than the RX 460 and more than justify the price point. However, I don't recommend spending more than $150 on this graphics card, because once you enter that $150 to $200 price point, the only card I can really recommend at that point is a good RX 470. The particular one we're looking at here is the XFX RX 470, coming in at a good bit under $200. So keep an eye out for that one, as well as other ones that may drop in there if you prefer a different styling, but the RX 470 nonetheless. Now, going to $200 to $250, there is going to be a point of contention with this one, but my recommendation is wholeheartedly the XFX RX 480 4GB model, because it is going to be a bit faster than the 470 still, and it's going to give you 4 gigs is going to be okay, especially if you're sticking to 1080p gaming in that price range. Now, if you're going to move up to the $250 to $300 price range, this is going to be the hardest one to make a recommendation. This is where you really are going to have to decide whether you want to go with Team Red or Team Green. My recommendation wholeheartedly is to pay attention to the games that you're going to want to play and go with the one that just does that particular game set better. But if you do go with the RX 480, I recommend the MSI Gaming X version, and the exact same thing over on the NVIDIA side with the MSI Gaming X variant there as well. They're both excellently built cards, run extremely cool. Just looking around the internet, you can find some really good reviews on these. These are very well rated cards. Those are my recommendations between the $250 and $300 price range. So for 8GB RX 480 and a 6GB GTX 1060. Bumping up a little bit to the $300 to $350 price range, this is kind of a almost untapped region, so we're actually going to pull to last generation, and my recommendation goes to the Sapphire R9 Fury Nitro. We did review this card on the channel. I'll put a link up here for that one. Very good card, very good performance. Even still, it's a bit of a brute, but you will be limited to 4GB of VRAM, so keep that in mind if that's something that concerns you. Moving up to the $350 to $500 category, because once you get to this price range, things do tend to spread out a bit. Now, I do recommend the GTX 1070 at this price range, except there are 2 different models, and they both come in around $430, so it's a bit over the $350 limit. But if you look, you can usually find one closer to $380. The 2 that I recommend, starting off with the EVGA Hybrid. The GTX 1070 Hybrid offers amazing temperatures, excellent overclocking, and very stable performance at this price point. Now, if you don't have the room or you're not comfortable with AIOs in your computer, and you don't want to deal with an extra radiator, look at the MSI Gaming X 1070. That's my alternative to that. Both cards excellent, gonna do very well at those price points, and they both cost the same, so pick which one you want. Now, as far as the $500 and up region, you really are going to have to spend a bit of money, and you're going to end up in the $600+ category. And my recommendation out of all of the different GTX 1080s that I looked at, quite frankly, I would have to go with the Asus ROG Strix OC GTX 1080, because it does offer a lot of features. It's got the RGB, it's got the triple fan design, it runs much cooler than most other ones, as well as being just a really, really nice card. So those have been my recommendations, anywhere ranging from $100 up to unlimited. Mostly because I'm not a big proponent of multi-GPU solutions, we're going to stick with those, and those are my recommendations. If you have better recommendations for each of those price categories, feel free to leave those in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe, like, and we will catch you guys all in the next video.